Modern industrial enterprises are currently operating under massive structural friction. The core systems that generate revenue and deliver products are seizing up under complexities that standard off-the-shelf software patches cannot fix. We can measure the exact symptoms of this operational failure. It mathematically presents itself in two critical areas: severe pricing disadvantages against leaner competitors and consistently delayed time to market for new initiatives. This data visualizes the exact scale of the problem. Companies are facing a 30% price disadvantage and a 25% gap in time to market. Closing these specific compounding gaps simultaneously through standard incremental IT updates is mathematically impossible. The structural friction is too deep. The required alternative is a complete structural redesign. It demands re-engineering the organization's depth and value streams using an architecture of specialized AI agents. To survive the current market pressures, enterprise leaders must abandon the tactic of playing IT catch-up. They have to re-architect how their company operates from the ground floor up. Looking at the macroeconomic battlefield, many organizations fall into the foundation model trap. They attempt to compete directly against the global standards set by the US and China in core AI research. This schematic details the global standard requirements on the left. Building these foundational models requires massive GPU compute power, gigabytes of training data, and billions in venture capital. For industrial enterprises, competing here is a losing battle. The winning counter strategy is leapfrogging. Enterprises must bypass foundational research entirely and focus strictly on dominating the application layer. Success in the application layer requires 4 specific proprietary assets that industrial firms already possess: excellent internal research, broad domain knowledge, direct customer data, and deep engineering expertise. Combining these existing assets scales industrial physical AI rapidly. It leverages the organization's distinct operational advantages without requiring them to invent new core AI models from scratch. Market dominance will not belong to the companies that build the biggest foundation models. Instead, it will belong to the companies that build the smartest application layers to actually run their businesses. Implementing this application layer strategy demands a structural scaling of the company's collective intelligence. This timeline charts that required evolution. Organizations move from a legacy, human-centric model into stage 2, which consists of simple, isolated AI-augmented pilots. But stopping at isolated pilots is a dead end. The necessary destination is stage 4, the fully autonomous cognitive organization. Look at how this final cognitive stage breaks away. It achieves an effective IQ, combining human strategy and AI execution, that mathematically eclipses the flat line of average human limitations. This exponential intelligence curve maps the actual physical scaling of an organization's capacity to execute complex, multi-step work. Reaching this exponential IQ curve is the only mathematical way to execute the leapfrogging strategy and permanently close those 30% performance gaps. Scaling an enterprise's IQ to that level requires replacing the legacy corporate structure with a new operating system for the edge teams. This shift integrates systems that operate in real time across the entire value chain, moving seamlessly from data observation directly to autonomous action. This architectural diagram maps out that new system. It relies on 7 dedicated, specialized AI platforms covering every critical function: engineering, manufacturing, HR, sourcing, legal, and overall control. If we narrow our focus specifically to revenue generation and customer relationships, we isolate the sales AI module. An AI-native firm relies on the constant real-time interaction between these specific pillars to turn raw incoming data into autonomous revenue-generating action. Running these 7 AI pillars necessitates a fundamental shift in how teams are structured, departing from traditional, rigid corporate hierarchies. The modern enterprise takes the form of this shared agency network. It physically separates human strategic intent from high-speed machine execution. The top row identifies the human orchestrators. Their exclusive role is taking responsibility for governance, empathy, long-term strategic goals, and ethical boundaries. Below them is the massive network of AI agents. Their role is strictly operational, handling continuous data processing, high-speed execution, and complex transactional work without fatigue. This establishes the core axiom of the modern enterprise. AI infinitely scales the execution, but humans permanently retain the decision-making authority. To see how this architecture translates to operational reality, we can initiate a controlled case study within the Sales AI module. The AI uses this 4-step algorithmic framework to continuously optimize processes: observe, orient, decide, and act, the OODA loop. It starts with the observe phase. The autonomous system continuously monitors live KPIs across the value stream until it flags a critical bottleneck. Here is the raw output from the observation. The system identified a quote turnaround time of 7.2 days, failing against a strict 5-day target. The cascading business stakes are severe. This specific delay directly causes customers to defect to faster competitors, immediately threatening the company's overall win rates. In a cognitive organization, AI observation autonomously identifies existential revenue threats in real time, moving beyond the limitations of static dashboards. The system moves to the orient phase, shifting from tracking raw data to analyzing structural root causes. It pinpoints where the process breaks down: manual formatting delays, lacking digital workflows, and the sales team acting as a physical bottleneck. During the decide phase, the system categorizes all potential interventions, ranking them strictly by the required effort, the potential impact, and the time to value. The system strategically avoids overextending early resources. Instead of immediately proposing heavy multi-month software implementations, it sequences immediate, low-barrier patches first. At this stage, the AI has operated as a high-level strategic partner. It took raw bottleneck data and transformed it into a prioritized, logical roadmap. In the act phase, the human orchestrator deploys the AI's action plan. The immediate triage action is enforcing standardized proposal templates today. Short and midterm actions follow precisely: testing CRM approval workflows this week, and a CPQ tool evaluation within 14 days. This establishes the ultimate strategic end state for the modern enterprise: decision dominance. True enterprise orchestration is built entirely on this process. It is a systematic, continuous loop of observation and autonomous action that permanently scales the intelligence, the speed, and the market power of the entire organization.